Welcome back everyone, John Panio here with another video. Today we're going to be going over G Corp manager Corporal Gregor. He has a 3-star unit and currently he is on rate up for his banner. He is a very strong unit, I would say a top tier unit. And in this video we're going to be covering whether or not you should pull for him before his banner ends. His banner ends in about a day in a little bit, so you guys make that distinction for yourself. But let's just jump right into it. So Gregor is a very strong unit. He's got decent speed. He has 3 to 7 potentially. His resistance are normal to slash, ineffective to pierce, and fatal to blunt. His first skill is hack. It's got a base of 4 with +3 potential with 2 coin flips, meaning he can go all the way up to 10. On Clash Win, he does an extra 40% damage, as well as if it lands on heads, he heals for 50% of the damage done. The skill 2 is Dismember. It's a 6 base skill, which is very high, and it's got +10 on coin flip win. On hit, he does 5 Rupture, and for those that don't know, Rupture essentially acts as a detonation skill. So the next time the enemy would take an instance of damage, 5 Rupture damage is applied and then this disappears. And also when heads hit, it heals for 50% of the damage dealt. His last skill, Eviscerate, is a 4 base skill with +2 but with 4 coins, so potentially this can go all the way up to 12. And there are 3 hits where he deals a bonus 30% damage is dealt as bonus damage if the target has Rupture. So this has a potential plus 90% damage to it, which is insane, but this skill also heals for 100% of the damage dealt. Gregor's passives are Emergency Rations. At less than 25% HP, he will heal essentially his Gluttony resource divided by 3, and that's a percentage of HP. So if he has 3 resources divided by 3, he'll have 1% HP on Clash Wins, which is not a lot, so he'll heal for 1 if he has 100 HP. So with this stat right now, if he uses his Gluttony, he heals for 1, which is not that great. His support is Gene Code. It's very hard to activate because it fires 5 Gluttony, but the ally with the lowest HP heals for 5 HP after winning a clash, which is not bad, but it's essentially a heal 5 at the cost of using 5 greens, so it's not exactly something you'd want to go out of your way for. Gregor also has a decent ego. His ego is suddenly one day. It costs 1 gloom and 3 of these. Don't know what these are, but we're gonna call them browns for now. I want to say this is lust, but I could be totally wrong. So 3 rounds, 1 gloom. So his base is actually not that high. It's 14, but it will beat out most things. It on coin flip win, it'll get +14, so it's at 28 potential. But what's pretty good about this skill is that on hit, it inflicts 6 stacks of a random status, which is either burn, bleed, tremor, rupture, and sinking. So he can fit into a burn build, a bleed build, a tremor build, a rupture build, and a sinking build. But this is all RNG, so this is just a nice effect that it has, but it doesn't really synergize well with anything because it's very random. We're gonna take him into chapter 3-4 because that's where I'll take everyone right now, and we are going to be using Gregor, and we will be synergizing it with a Ryoshu because she has the indiscriminate art passive, which is good for green. We're also gonna pair her up with Otis because he's got Rupture and she can apply Rupture, and we are going to use Heathcliff to be able to round out these skills, and we will also use Ishmael. So Gregor is a unit that's very strong standalone. He doesn't really need to have any synergies with other people. It's nice to have synergies with people on his team, but realistically the only skill that he can synergize with other people with is his Eviscerate. His Eviscerate does extra damage for people that can apply Rupture, but more often than not, it's not going to be that useful unless you're going to be fighting in an abnormality battle. because it's the only time that Rupture is going to be useful. However, it is useful because he can apply 5 Rupture with his Dismember skill, so any other units that have apply Rupture count can be very useful to be able to stack up those Ruptures. But outside of that, there's no other real synergies that Gregor has with a lot of the other casts. He can synergize very well with people that use, you know, rocks. I'm calling them rocks for now until I remember what it is, but people who use yellow skills. The yellow skills are very prominent in Gregor's cool set because he's got a lot of it. His Dismember is very, very strong. It is very strong. Even though it only flips the coin once, it usually lands on heads, and as you can see, he's already at like 45 sanity. And with the Eviscerate, it does extra damage with people who has Rupture, but very rarely will you be able to target anyone who's already has Rupture. As you can see, your characters will act in order with these regular battles, but oh, this is one of the instances where this person has Rupture, so Eviscerate is going to do more damage. And we'll see how much extra damage it will do. And as you can see, that did 50-ish damage. This is now without the Rupture, but the enemy doesn't have enough HP to be able to chunk more damage, so we can't really showcase the full potential of that damage. But essentially, Gregor's always going to be doing 90% more damage if there's a Rupture on the enemy, and that is very strong. It's almost, I would say, almost akin to Hulong's Mutilate skill, where if he's on kill, he can activate his skill again. Eviscerate acts very similar in the sense that the damage output is an extra 90%, and that's almost a full skill use again, which is very good. But obviously, it does need to be procced under the condition that the enemy has Rupture on it. So as you can see, our units are able to clear through this first phase really, really easily. But let's just make it a little bit harder and take away 2 units. We're going to take away 2 units and see if Gregor is able to carry just with minimal help. So let's pop right into it, go back in, and this time we're going to take away Ishmael, and we're going to take away Otis, and we're going to use these 3 characters. These 3 characters are I would say the core of a free-to-play team. If you have Gregor and you don't know who to pair him up with, Ryoshu and Base Otis are 2 very good characters that match up with him very well. The reason being is Indiscriminate Art does 25% damage, and no, she'll take 25% damage more, but since there's so many greens in Gregor's kit, it actually works pretty well. Otis also, with her Pole Blade, is able to apply Rupture on the enemy, which is very useful because Gregor will be able to chain off that skill. Let's see. Perfect. So, enemy has Rupture, Gregor is going to be targeting this enemy. As you can see, with a Ruptured unit using Eviscerate, with almost everything landing. Before, with the Eviscerate, he was doing 56 damage, and now he's doing 47. So the damage is actually not that bad. Obviously, it's not going to be too good at this stage because Gregor is obviously very weak to blunt. But we are going to try to make do. Unfortunately, looks like our Ryoshu went down, but let's see if we can make something happen with Ryoshu. We are going to be using her skill right here. And hopefully Ryoshu can take some of the damage. We do the Pole Blade, we stagger, and we should be using Piercing Thrust. Not quite enough damage, but that's okay. Otis taking a ton of damage. Oh gosh, Gregor going to be getting himself very low, but he can heal himself up though, and it might not be enough, but we'll see. And we are getting annihilated. Ooh, truly unfortunate. So, as you can see, Gregor by himself isn't quite strong enough to be able to solo content, obviously, especially since he is very weak to blunt. However, with a decent team around him, he is able to do a decent amount by himself. as you can see, overall with Gregor, I wouldn't say he's a must-pull unit at the moment. He's very, very strong. He's essentially a flex character. He does a lot of damage. He can self-sustain and heal himself up. He offers a relatively decent passive. You know, it's nothing crazy to write home about, but it's okay. It can be triggered very easily, but the conditions to use it are either A, very stringent because it will take up 5 gluttony, or B, very niche because it requires you to be at less than 25% HP, and you only heal for 1% of the HP on clash wins, so it's not that great. Overall, I would say Gregor is a strong unit, very strong standalone, can fit into any team comp. He applies Rupture, his ego can apply different status effects, and he's got a overall solid kit. Is he a must pull? I don't think so. I think over time he's going to get power crept, and with the banner that's coming right around the corner, there's going to be new units to be coming out. If eventually they release more Rupture support, in the sense that there will be more units that apply Rupture and apply Rupture count, then Gregor might be a high contender if Rupture ever becomes meta in the game. But currently, right now, with how the state of the game is, Gregor is just not needed. He's nice to have, but he's not essential. He's a very high tier unit, but I wouldn't call him top tier. Overall, I've really enjoyed using Gregor. I will say he's definitely carried me through a good chunk of content. If you guys have him on your team, let me know what you guys think about Gregor. What type of team comps do you put him in? What have you found works best for him? I stream on Twitch almost every day, and you can catch me live there. John Panio signing out. I'll see you guys later. Bye for now.